Okay, in this video I'm just going to show you how to tie the longtail silver doctor variant of mine. So I have a size 6 mustad hook in the vise. It's a DL71 in black nickel. So I'm just going to start the white thread just behind the eye and run it down to the sort this bobbin holder out. Just going to run it down to in front of the points of the hook, or between the point and the barb even, and at that point run your thread 2/3 of the way back up and catch a length of oval silver, and at the bottom and run it back up to the same point. Take your thread back. I'm going to put 3 turns of this, 3 turns of the oval silver, so make sure they're nice and tight, and just tighten it up with the back of your nail, and then cross your thread over your waist end and catch it in underneath and run it down 2/3 or 3/4 of the way and trim off your waist piece. At this point I'm going to wax the thread because we're going to catch in a yellow, well actually we're going to catch in a bit of floss in fluorescent red. This is uni, Chinese red. So catch it in underneath and wind it up tight against your tag. Come forward 4 or 5 turns. Straighten the floss out and make sure your first turn's tight up against the tag, and then give it 2 or 3 turns. Depends on the size of the tag you want. I want the tag there to be twice the length of the silver tip, as they would call it, so twice the size of the silver. And at this point I'm going to catch in some yellow bucktail. Don't make this too heavy, keep it reasonably sparse. I think it swims better, so get a bunch of fibres and you can just hand stack the tips so they're roughly lined up. And once you get them to that stage you can go ahead and set them on top. Probably twice the, and around 1 3/4 or 1 2/3 the body. Again, it is a long tail variant, but I mean if the tail's too long it's going to wrap up on you, so about that length there I would say is about right. Catch in 2 strands of crystal flash. This is the very fine micro crystal flash, I think. Catch in 2 strands and wind down. Trim your waist end, the bucktail and crystal flash. And at this point catch in a wee tuft of yellow Arctic fox. So I'm just going to take a bit of Arctic fox away from the skin and cut it. Pull away a bit of the underfluff and line the tips of the guard hairs up a bit better. Again, this is just a wee tuft, sits over the back of your tail, just to lower this face slightly. Just set it over the back like that and sort of halfway into the tail. Couple of turns and give your thread a wee wax. And go right back up to your red tag and trim away your excess. At this point we're going to catch in a silver wire rib. So catch this in underneath, and on the way down tidy up the waist ends of your fox. Go right down and then come right back again. Just before you get to the back we're going to catch in a length of silver flat tinsel. I'm just going to trim it into a point here, catch it in and get it started. So I'm going to catch it in with the gold side facing me, so whenever I wind it, it is the silver side up. And what I'm going to do is just give a wee dab of super glue onto the thread and then wind the silver tinsel over it. And that tinsel wrapped over the glue along with the wire rib makes it quite strong, so keep your turns either touching or a slight overlap. Try not to leave any gaps. This is why I use white thread most of the time. If you do happen to have a wee gap there, it's very hard to pick it up. But the best thing to do is don't leave any. So catch your waist end in and trim it off. And at this point, one turn at the very back and then continue to come up the fly with nice even ribs. 4 or 5 turns and then catch your wire rib in. Make sure it's under tension when you're tying it down and bend and break it off. At this point we're going to tie in the wing. So the first thing is a wee bit of wax again, and this is Arctic Fox and it's dyed Silver Doctor Blue. This came from Sean's website frankensnelda.com, so he keeps a good range of colours and it's good quality fox as well. So I'm going to tie a wee tuft of it in, a bit of guard hair and a bit of under fur in. I'm going to take a couple of turns just to check, and the tail should come in roughly, or the wing should come in just to the 2/3 of the way into the yellow tuft of fox, always trying to taper the fly. Trim away the waist ends and tidy that up. And the next bit is silver fox, natural silver fox. And if you pull out not too much, a small tuft and trim it away, just laying the tips up again slightly. So say it is a variant of the Silver Doctor, so the colours aren't necessarily in the right order, but the colours are in the original hairwing fly. So catch your silver fox over the top and tie it down, trim it away. I'm going to have to be quick with the next couple of stages because the video is only 8 minutes, or 9 minutes it maybe videos for. So this is golden pheasant tippet dyed red. And all we're going to do is finish it, line up with, if you're putting a straight line up so it finishes at the back end of the silver tie, and tie it down. A few turns till you're happy with it, and then trim away your waist. The throat hackle is just cock hackle fibres, or in this instance hen hackle fibres, again Silver Doctor Blue. So just going to pull them away from the stem and tie a small bunch in below. Just pinch and lip underneath if you can, or invert, turn your vise upside down. A couple of turns in, and over the top of that is a wee bit of mallard. It's meant to be grey mallard flank, but sitting here I have a wee bit of bronze mallard, so I'm just going to put that in underneath, and or you can use natural guinea fowl as well. Put that in and just give it a tighten in, trim away your waist. At this point, wax your thread, tidy that area up, and go straight in and whip finish. The head of this is finished with UTC's Peacock Blue thread, so get it and tighten it up to start off with, and start right at the bottom of your bed of thread and work your way back up, covering all the white if you can. So just try and keep under control. It can be tricky, but if you need to tighten the thread up by spinning it clockwise or anti-clockwise to open it out or tighten it up, depending on what you need. I don't like to wax this because I find it frays, and my hands would fray as well. So once you're happy it's covered, pretty much it, straight in, whip finish it. And for finishing this fly off, best method for me is I use Deer Creek Diamond Fine, so it saves any messing about. One coat, just squeeze it out with out of the tube, out of the bottle, and apply it with a dubbing needle. Very simple to do. So just wait for it to blow the air out of the top, and then out comes the resin. And put it on a wee bit at a time. You can always add a bit more. Put it on and you have as much time as you want to work with it. So just put it on with a dubbing needle and spread it over the head area. Be careful not to get it onto any of your hackle or your wing, because once you put the torch near it, it will set it hard. And once you're happy that you've covered everywhere, you can now set the resin with your torch, and that's one go and you have a lovely head. Good durable finish and a nice shiny head. So set the resin with your LED torch, and that's it. That's the finished fly. So that's a Silver Doctor, and it's my longtail variant of it. So thanks for watching.